All right, it's the 31st of July, last day of the month. We've got about 25 minutes to the NY Open. Go to the charts in a sec. Okay, just give me a second. All right, start with the calendar. So today we have, so it's Thursday. There is core PCE price index at 8:30 AM EST. There is also employment cost index, unemployment claims, all at 8:30. There are three news events. They're not major news events. They're not major news events, right? So there is no need to be. I'm not too concerned about these news events. These news events will only provide liquidity for price to move in the direction that it's going to move in the New York session today, at least for the first 2 hours of the New York session. The first 2 hours of volume. These news events will only provide the needed liquidity for price to move in that direction, right? Tomorrow is a big one again. NFP, we had the interest rate decision the second half of NY session yesterday, and tomorrow is NFP. That's the big one, right? And today is also the end of the month, but even though it's the end of the month, it really doesn't matter. Though there is a monthly candle close, the monthly candle close does not matter for session trading. The weekly candle close could matter for session trading, but not the monthly candle close. So even if it's mid-month, I mean midweek, it doesn't matter. So today is a monthly candle close. It doesn't matter really. If it was on a Friday, if the monthly and weekly candle were both on a Friday, then yes, it would be important because it's the weekly candle close. But the monthly open or monthly close has no relevance for session trading if you're trading the 30-minute time frame. All right. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at what happened. So price pushed down. We were anticipating after this big rejection, we were anticipating a push down this week, and that happened. If you were here at the beginning of the week on Monday, Tuesday, we were speaking about the weekly candle, how large the weekly candle could be. It's already pushed about 770 pips. I think it can get much larger. We could end up with about 1,200, 1,300 pip weekly candle. That's very possible this week, right? We've got a big news event tomorrow as well. Now, what happened? Let's go to the daily time frame and look at what happened. Price did come back. There was a green rectangle here that we had for a few weeks on the chart. Price, I said we had tapped it once, tapped it twice, tapped it a third time, and the fourth time we're very likely to go through. That's what we said at the beginning of yesterday's stream. So if you watch the first 5 minutes of yesterday's stream, that's exactly what I said. It had tapped one, twice, three times. It's very likely to go through, and that's exactly what happened. Price pushed through, and it pushed through. It started at the NY session, the NY Open, just about 30 minutes, probably 30 minutes to an hour after the NY Open, and then it continued and kind of paused for a while, and then the move down continued with the interest rate decision, right? I caught that trade with the interest rate with the FOMC meeting minutes. I'll explain that in a bit. Okay, so where have we come now? We've come down to this level right here, right? Now, we've come here, right? This is a drop, a basin candle, and a rally. Now, this level 2 has been, this is kind of the source of the move. This is, well, it's not really source. The source is somewhere here. But this is a significant move up that took price past this daily supply. Let me just zoom in. We have time, by the way. We have a lot of time for analysis because until we've got about 40 minutes, 50 minutes for analysis because until 8:30 a.m. EST, I'm not going to be looking for any setups because we got some red news folders on Forex Factory. So we're going to wait for that um, before we look for any setups. All right. So again, as I was saying, we have a drop, a base, and a rally here. There is demand here on the daily time frame. Price has tapped it. It confirms it has tapped it and pushed all the way up here. So that confirms that this is demand. That's the first thing. The second thing is this demand level has pushed up and taken out this supply, this drop, base, drop, right? So this is a decision level. We'll have to see what's going to happen here. Now, we've already had a pullback. We created 30-minute support. We're going to go to the 30-minute time frame and look at it in a bit. Price dropped to a liquidity candle. You'll see that on the trend when we go to the trading chart. It dropped to a liquidity candle, tapped it, spent just 30 minutes to an hour there, and pushed straight up, right? Now, I keep repeating this. If price comes to a decision level, and if it doesn't spend too much time there, if it spends anywhere between 30 minutes to a couple of hours, and you get 30 minutes support form, if it's at a demand level, then if you get 30 minutes support form there, it's very likely a reversal. Very likely could be a temporary reversal, but it is a reversal. If it's a supply level, if it's a high time frame decision, so if it's a high time frame supply level, and if that is a decision level, which means has it taken out an opposing zone, then and if price spends 30 minutes to a couple anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours there, and pushes down, then that's very likely a reversal. If price begins to spend more than a couple of hours, like anything between over 3 hours, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, then we're very likely price is ranging in that area, and there is accumulation there for price to go through that zone. That's what's happening. Okay, so here we'll see that on the trading chart. Price didn't spend much time, just about an hour, and pushed straight up, right? And we pushed up about 450 pips already. Okay, it started at the end of the second half of the NY session. So just after at the end of the second half, so probably about an hour after the FOMC meeting minutes, is when the move up started, right? And it continued through the Asian session today, right? So we are here, but if you look at the weekly time frame, we spoke about this on Monday, Tuesday, and on the last 3 days. Look what happened the last time price came to 3430, right? We came here, this candle, you can see tap 340, even higher, rejected these levels. We rejected 3500, 3450, 3430, and pushed all the way down right here to this level right here, 3265, right? 3265, and that's exactly where prices come to, 3265. That's exactly where we are, right? We came yesterday to 3265, right? And price went further down, created support, and pushed up, right? So we came to the minimum area required around 3265. The last time it happened, it pushed down, came again past 3265, and created support there on the daily time frame, right? So we've come to 3265. Can we come further down to maybe here to 3230? Is there enough volume to push price down? I think it could. I think we could be coming to 3230. We spoke about this yesterday, right? This could be the pullback for the week, for price to continue down tomorrow during NFP, right? Keep that in mind. This could be the pullback for the week for price to continue down and close a stronger weekly bearish candle, something like this here with NFP tomorrow, right? Let's go to our trading chart now. Okay. Right, so what happened yesterday here? So this is the trade that I took. I'll quickly explain that. I had said during the streams that I'll be coming back to the charts just before the interest rate decision. So I came in about 10 minutes before the news, or about 5 minutes before the news interest rate decision. I came in. Now, interest rates didn't really push price up or down. It generally doesn't. The move happens 30 minutes after with the press conference. That's usually what happens. Sometimes what has happened or at least 60% of the time or 70% of the time, what happens is the interest rate news pushes price in one direction, and the FOMC meeting minutes news, the press conference, pushes price exactly in the opposite direction, right? And that is very similar to what happened yesterday. So you had, if there's a 30-minute time frame, this is where the news came out. I think somewhere on this candle, price pushed up, and then FOMC meeting minutes came in. The FOMC press conference started, and price pushed all the way down. Now, how I took this trade is there was a 1 hour supply zone here, a drop, a base, and a drop that was formed once this candle closed here. And I drew the zone, and there is a liquidity candle in there. If you look on the 30-minute, on that's the 1 hour time frame zone, drop, base, drop. And then, so from here, this is the base candle up to there, it's a 60 pip zone. And then inside this is a liquidity candle on the 15-minute, I believe. Yeah, this one right here, right? This is the largest candle there. Price came, and inside that largest candle, a 30-minute back candle closed. After that candle was formed, this candle went back in, closed. This candle broke the low, so I drew the fib from here to there, and I waited with a pending order here, and price tapped it to the pip. I did take a few orders down here as well once price was pushing down, and I got out at these levels, 32.83, 32.75. I've posted this on my socials. You can have a look at the trade. The trade is explained very clearly on my socials, how the setup was formed, and how I took the trade. Yeah, right here, right? So it's explained here very clearly. In a heavy downtrend, M30 back candle tapped and rejected the liquidity candle, which is that one. Next candle broke the previous candle. This candle broke the previous candle low. I drew the fib, waited for pullback during FOMC to take the trade, right? And price came tapped here. I took a couple of entries here, and I took an entry here, closed here, and there was a final TP at 3265. I didn't wait for that. I just needed to get to bed, so I just took out those TPs, and then I called it a day. Okay, so later on, price tapped the liquidity candle, created 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle closed, and price continued all the way up. So now this makes, this is what I was saying. Price came deeper into this level. This is a fairly large zone. It's about a 550 pip zone. Price came deeper into it. There is a 4-hour, if you look here, there's a 4-hour demand zone here inside that zone. Let's get rid of this. This is not. Yeah, let's get rid of this one just to show you guys. Yeah, so the dark green box from here to here is a 4-hour supply zone, the 265 pip zone, and inside that is a liquidity candle. Price closed below it, closed back inside it, right? Okay, this is outside. This is the end of the trading day, so there's, I don't think anybody's going to be trading at this time, but the idea is the trade works, liquidity works. Price grabbed liquidity and then pushed all the way up 400 pips after this bull candle. After it created support, bull candle, tradable 30-minute bull candle, and went all the way up, right? Okay, so let's get rid of these. Okay. Let's get rid of all of this. So if you remember, if you were on the streams yesterday, we had put this level 33.2504. That is last week's low. I said if a 30-minute candle closes below it, We're going to stay down. That's a sign that we're going to stay down for the rest of the day. If if you're here on yesterday's stream, you remember me say that. And this was that 30-minute candle close. I said once we close below that 30-minute candle close, price is going to stay down. And that's exactly what it did, right? All the way down, pushed 470 pips. We stayed below the previous weekly low. All right, let's go to work. Okay, there is this supply zone here, this rally base, this rally we had drawn it yesterday, this rally, 4 basin candles and a drop. We'll start by extending that to the right. And the open is 336. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I know price has gone past this, but I want to draw this supply zone. I just want to draw this supply zone. There's a supply zone right here. Drop, base drop. We're going to take a look at that. I know price has gone past it, but I just want to take a look at it. Yeah, we've gone past it. We don't need it. We've closed, one hour candle has closed above, another one has closed below, come down, we're pushing back up. Yeah, we don't need this. Maybe take a look at the 30-minute time frame and see if, because we've crossed this, nothing on the 30 also. Yeah, we've crossed this, but closed above, closed back below, come down. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Okay, we're pushing up. We're trying to correct that move, right? That's what's happening on the chart without any analysis, just by looking at the chart. Or if you just look at the 4-hour time frame, if you don't draw any zones, you see the drop that started in the NY session yesterday, price pushed down over 600 pips. We're trying to correct that move up. That's what's happening right now. We're trying to correct that move up. And we will see on the lower time frame that if that's the case, then we're going to look to take buys today to go back up, right? Possibly if further above 33, 32, right? Let's see. Okay, so we've passed this this supply zone here. Let's look for demand. There is demand here. There's a rally-based rally, and there's also demand down here. Let's start with the one that is closest to current price. Let's go to the lower time frame, and the reason I do that is price has crossed a psychological round number. Whenever it does that, you need to have a look at the lower time frame to find the zone. Let's take a look at the 30-minute as well. I think it's clearer on the 1 hour. We have a rally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles and a rally. Leg in, base, leg out. 966, close 969. 055. Okay. That's 1 hour demand. That's 4 hour supply. Right. Now, further down, we have a drop and a rally. Whenever you have a drop, an immediate rally, there is demand there. If it looks like demand, it is demand. So let's go down to, let's start with drawing it like this, and then we can take a look at the lower time frame to find a base there. Let's take a look at 30-minute time frame. Drop, base. Yeah, that's how I would draw it. Even though there is a base here as well. This drop, this candle is definitely in the base. This is a larger candle with more body than wick, so that would be the leg out. But if you look at the 1 hour time frame, there is a base there as well. Doesn't matter, we'll draw it based on the 30-minute time frame. So this would be the open 316 and the low 810. 316, 810. I'm going to mark it as no, it's too low. It's too low. 577. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm going to include this candle in 726. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to mark it as 4-hour demand because it's visible on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, and we're going to bring this down here so we don't overlap the zone. This low is 68.10. Extend these to the right. Okay, that covers about 500 pips to the downside. That should be good enough for today. That should be good enough for today. Yeah, that should be good enough for today. All right. Yeah, for the first 2-3 hours of the NY session should be good enough. Right, let's take a look at supply again. We've covered about 220 pips to the upside. Let's probably extend these zones as well. These zones were drawn earlier this week. So if you ever want to see just me draw supply demand zones and that's all you want to take out of these streams, then all you need to do is tune into the first 30 minutes of the stream and that's it. And then you can learn how to draw the zones and then you can trade it however you want to trade it, right? You don't have to enter trades the way I enter trades. I enter based on the 30-minute time frame. Majority of my trades, 90% of my trades on the 30-minute time frame. 85 to 90% of my trades on 30-minute time frame, because that's a better confirmation time frame for me as a session trader. And I always wait for a pullback. And I don't get trades all the time because sometimes price doesn't pull back. There's a lot of volume. You get a breakout, right? If there's a lot of buying pressure, it'll break the previous candle high and continue, and I'll not get in. I won't get entry in those cases. But I'm comfortable with that. So you can use any method of entry that you are used to, but if you want to learn supply demand, then this is the way to do it. Okay, we're going to take a look at this liquidity candle again here. Okay, that's it. I think that's covered plenty. We've got 400 pips to the upside, plenty. Because there should be volume today, but because it's NFP tomorrow, I don't expect a lot of volume. There should be decent volume, right? We are averaging about 450 pips per day. We've already covered most of that. We've moved about 400 and almost 410 pips already. So there should be a bit of volume left for the day, but you got to keep in mind it's NFP tomorrow. So there could be a lot more volume tomorrow than there is today. All right. Okay. So the next thing to do is now we have two new demand zones. Okay. So we're going to take a look at these zones and see if they're high liquidity zones. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. This is also the NY open. NY session has just opened. Has this zone taken out any supply to the left? Yes, there is a base drop here, then a pullback, and this is a reaction. This is the source of supply. This is the first reaction, a rally base drop, and price took out this high and this high with this move up. So this is a high liquidity zone. Okay, the zone below, is it a high liquidity zone? Has it taken out anything to the left? Let's check the 30-minute time frame. No, it hasn't taken out. Doesn't seem like it has taken out anything to the left. No, not really. This is not a high liquidity zone. Okay, now we should be heading higher. Might be coming up here. Okay, so okay, next thing to do is we're going to look at this area and see if there is a high liquidity candle in here, right? So we've identified a high liquidity zone here. There's a 1 hour demand zone here. There's a 4 hour demand zone here. We're going to take a look at these two zones. Also, we're going to have another zone here because this rally, 3 basin candles and a rally, has crossed this weekly SR level. It's visible on the 1 hour as well. So we have to draw that zone. We can't ignore it. There is a zone there. Let's look at that on the 30-minute. Yeah, there's definitely a zone there. This low is 281 and this close is 732. 732 281. Okay. 1 hour demand. Has that taken out anything to the left? Not really. Nothing, right? But it's still, we have to draw that area because price could tap that area and then push up. Let's see. Now, the next thing to do is we're going to take a look at these 3 demand zones and see if there are high liquidity candles in them. Let's start with the first one. Start at the 1 hour time frame. We're looking for the largest 1 hour candle, the bullish candle, in the zone or left of the zone. There is that's 86 pips. 92. Let's start here. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, there's a candle there. It's a 90 pip candle. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, we've tapped it perfectly. Perfect tap. I'm going to keep it on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah. There's 399, 844. No, 544. 544, 399. It's a perfect tap. This candle is, the low is 388. Perfect tap of the liquidity candle and push up. All right, so that covers both these zones. Let's take a look at this zone anyway. There's a large candle there. Take a look at the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, keep it on the 30-minute time frame. This one. 581954. 581954. And we bring it down so we don't overlap it. Low 544. 514. Okay. Liquidity candles stacked one above the other. In times of volume, when there's news, if it breaks one, it breaks the other and goes to the next one. Okay. Further down here in this zone, is there anything here? Let's the 1 hour time frame. Probably have to look outside the zone, look left. So 162 pip candle, how big is this? 186. Yeah. Let's take a look at it on the 30-minute. Yeah, that's the candle. Let's take a look at another 15-minute. No, keep it on the 30-minute. 180. $105. Yeah, this one right here. 444397. Okay. Yeah, that's a liquidity candle there. Done. Okay, this is a high liquidity zone. Let's check this one here. No, really didn't take out anything. There is one here though. Okay, that's the analysis. We still have about 20 minutes for news. So we're going to wait for news. Not going to do anything until news. Let's take a look at this area again. I want to take a look at this supply zone again, the 1 hour time frame. There's a 4 hour supply zone, rally, 4 basin candles and a drop. I want to take a look at that liquidity candle again. Let's just delete it, start again. That's the largest candle. That's a 145 pip candle. Yeah, that 1 hour candle looks good. Let's take a look at another 30-minute. 96, 72, 82. This candle is this big candle here, this invisible candle here, 155 pip candle. That is the liquidity candle. That's line there. Hmm. Interesting. '71, 70. Yeah, yeah. This one right here. 920201. 9202.1. Because that aligns with this low here. If you look at the 30-minute time frame now, or if you look at the 1 hour time frame, the bottom of that candle aligns with these lows. Perfect. So that's a liquidity candle. That's possibly where we are heading to. It's about a 160 pip push up. Right, next, we've got about 16 minutes of news. Let's take a look at, go to the 15-minute time frame and see what price has done in the Asian and London sessions very quickly. Okay, let's see where the market opened. That's the market open right here. This candle, just zoom in a bit. Yeah, we opened at 32.75, 32.75.75, right? Price was in a liquidity candle just before it opened and then pushed up. Okay, let's take a look at the Asian. Tough. It's going to be tough to find the Asian highs in London and Asian lows and Asian highs. It's not much, just a straight push up. Okay, should be good. What's his low? 281. 368. 457. This high is 482. Okay, so in the Asian session, we pushed up about 150, 160 pips, and in the London session, about 200 pips, right? And when I say Asian session, I'm referring to the first few hours, first 2-3 hours of the session of a session open, right? So this is just before, this is probably around the Frankfurt session, or just 30 minutes probably before the Frankfurt Open. That's when the European session starts around the Frankfurt Open. That's when it starts. So I'm looking for the volume that comes in around that time, right? So it's not exactly when I say London Open, it's not exactly at the London Open, not right precisely at the time 8 a.m. London time. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what price did now, right? If you have any questions on any of the things that I've discussed here on the charts, you can always post a message in the chat and I will answer, right? Anything regarding to whatever we've discussed so far, whatever I've discussed so far. Right, so price pushed down to a liquidity candle, as we saw, created 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle close. All of that happened inside a liquidity candle, and price started to push up. Right, we pushed up. We opened in the candle opened. This candle, this is the market open. We opened, tapped the liquidity candle, pushed straight up, went close to 3289. We created a liquidity candle on the 30-minute time frame on the way up. Yeah, we created a 30-minute liquidity candle on the way up. Price dipped back, went out of it, dipped back into it, created the Asian low, and went tapped 3289. Closed above 3289. We formed another liquidity candle on the way up, and price went out of it in between the EMAs and created the Asian high. We swung back in to the liquidity candle right here, created 30-minute support and the London low. You can see 30-minute support form there, right? And the London low, and price pushed back to the Asian high and then ranged there a bit, tapped the EMA. We're still inside this the demand zone. Didn't tap the liquidity candle this time. Pushed up, went and closed at 3,300. Next one closed above 3,300. Dipped back in to 3,300. 3,300, a psychological round number. There are liquidity levels as well, right? If you're here for the first time, then you can take a screenshot of this. These are the liquidity levels that I identify on a price chart, right? High liquidity candles, BRNs or psychological round numbers like 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 2,500, 2,000, and then weekly SR levels that you see on my chart, and then the EMAs, right? So price came back. We tapped 3,300, which is a liquidity level, and created 30-minute support there and pushed straight up, right? And we've stopped here. We're going to see why. Price created the London high, created 30-minute resistance, and pushed all the way back and tapped the liquidity candle. And now created 30-minute support, closed above the Asian high, and we seem to be heading towards the London high, right? We'll have to see once price gets to the London high, what is it going to do? Is it going to reject that level and push and if it's going to are we going to reject it and push down, or are we going to close above and head higher? Now, yeah, 1 second. We could be pushing up to 332504 again. I'm going to mark that level again. I had done this yesterday as well. I'm going to mark this level again. This is the previous weekly low, right? We could be heading there. It's about 180 pip move. Keep that in mind. We spoke about this level. I said yesterday, if a 30-minute candle closes below, we're heading down. We seem to be creating 4 hours, 4 hour demand zones, 1 hour demand zones, and seem to be pushing up Let's look at the 4-hour time frame very quickly. Yeah, we have a rally, a base, and a rally here. So there is 1-hour demand and 4-hour demand here as well. And we've come into it, grabbed it, seems to be pushing back up here. So 190, 200 pip move up back to this 4-hour supply. Very possible today. Let's take a look at this again. All right. So 1 second. I want to see why price stopped here in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it stopped here because there's a liquidity candle here. This one right here. Yeah. Let me explain that. Let me draw it and then let me explain it. So there is a drop, a base, and a drop here. Okay. Drop, base, drop. Price I know has closed above it, but this is the zone, the supply zone, drop, base, drop on the 1-hour time frame because we've crossed a psychological round number. That's why we're looking at it on the lower time frame, and the supply zone is confirmed when the pullback here and the drop down, right? It's confirmed. But where is the liquidity candle? The liquidity candle is this. This is the liquidity candle of that zone. So price is never random. There's always a reason why. If you look at the 30-minute time frame now, yeah. Let's look at the 15-minute as well. It's an 82 pip candle. Yeah, that's the liquidity candle of that zone, right? So this high 242, low 434. 242, 434. Now it makes sense. Why price stopped there, right? Now it makes sense. I'm going to take out the, I'm going to delete this zone, but I'm going to keep the liquidity candle. But we have gone through it, so we're very likely going to push through. This 30-minute resistance, 30-minute candle clicked here, we came tapped here. Yeah, we're gonna push through this. We've already broken it, we're gonna push through this. Therefore, this one tapped here, this one is a liquidity candle. It's European session. Did this tap the liquidity candle? What is this low? 398. This high is 399. Yeah, it did tap it. This one broke the high. Yeah, respected this low, right? 368, low 388. Yeah, yeah, I'd be willing to take buys. If you have a pullback to 3,300, I'll be willing to take buys to push through. 4 minutes. Let's see. What is this high here? 845, low 368, 45. And also this 30-minute candle closed above. We tapped this 30-minute candle closed above 3,300. This one broke the high. So 780, 519. Yeah, if we pull back here, I'll be willing to take a buy, stop loss under that. Here, take a buy for price to push up. That's the plan. All right, just give me a second. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we'll see if price is going to pull back. All right, so I'm going to be looking for buys. 30-minute, we've tapped, and I'll explain again why. We've tapped the liquidity candle in the London session, right? This is the liquidity candle here. We've tapped it, created 30-minute support. We've closed above the Asian high and above 3,300. Next candle has broken the high. So if there is a pullback around this optimal, around 3301 or 3,300, I'm looking to take a buy with a stop loss under this candle. 50, 60 pips, let's see, and we'll find a way to manage risk if price continues to go, if price goes in drawdown. But anticipating price to go through this liquidity candle because we've already broken it and head up here around 3320 and even 3325, right? If you can get a pullback, that's where we could be heading. About 250 pips, 200 first and then 250 pips. Okay. So, but I want to pull back. I'm not going to chase price while it's here. Okay, I'm not going to chase price. There's nothing wrong if you want to take a breakout trade. That's absolutely fine. If price doesn't pull back, then you know I'll probably not get an entry. But I don't trade breakouts. I only trade pullbacks. So price has to pull back for me to get an entry. Let's see. I'm going to place a pending order here and even here. See if we come down. Possibly one other sniper as well. If it doesn't pull back, then I don't get an entry, and it's okay. It can just push up. No problem. I'm only interested in an entry if there is a pullback. If there is no pullback, it doesn't matter. Right, so news There's nothing, no major difference from what was expected. Um, they were expecting, what was it here? They expected 0.3%. That's what it is. Forecast was 0.8, 0.9. Was expecting 222, 218. It's about the same. No, nothing major. Okay, so I've got pending orders placed here. Yeah, and I'm waiting. Yeah, we're pushing up. No entry. That's okay. It's absolutely fine. Change this color so it's more visible. Yeah, so this candle was this high. Yeah, this one, this high is 780, this high is 784. Yeah, no pullback. We're just pushing through. So the reason I was looking for pullback is because, as I said, 30-minute support formed. We tapped the liquidity candle, right? We tapped this liquidity candle. Now this candle happened. This happened in this setup was in the European session, in the London session. So I'm not, too concerned about that right now. But that is a setup that price has respected. This candle right here tapped the liquidity candle. That was the first touch of the liquidity candle, very close to the London session. And this candle broke the high. And price did come, tap both entries, optimal and sniper, and push all the way back up. Then pre-NY, we came here just before pre-NY. This is pre-NY. We respected that low. 30-minute support formed, closed above the Asian high and above 3,300. Um, and we closed above 3,300. The next candle broke the high. So I've drawn a fib from this high to this low. I'm waiting for a pullback to these levels around 3301.45 or 3301.5 and 3300, and even further down at 3298, around 3298.25 if we get there, right? With a stop loss under this candle or under this candle, waiting for price to push up and go all the way to 3320 and then 3325. But it may not pull back. It might just continue higher. And if that's the case, I will not get an entry. Yeah. There is no bottom wick on this candle. I'd like to see price pull back down. If it break below this, then we could come further down and then push up. Let's see. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Um, got entry. I'm anticipating price to push up. I'm anticipating price to go up all the way to 3320 and then 3325. Right? Correct the move. Yesterday's move. That is the That is what I see that's going to happen. We're going to correct this move. Price is going to go up, right? We've already, this is where the move started. This is the NY session. About 1.5 hours after, sorry, NY open was here. Yeah, 30 minutes after NY open, we pushed, the move started, the down move started 30 minutes after NY open, and price pushed down nearly 600 pips, right? And now we've already pushed up 460 pips. I think we're going to correct the move. We're going to come back all the way up. We've already moved 460. It's of a 600 pip move. There's just probably another 100 pips left. So if price pulls back, then we can ride that wave up. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Just waiting for, got these. Okay, if we get trigger, if price does pull back and we get an entry, where do we manage risk? Where do we manage risk? It's a question. It's 103,294. Yeah, 3294 is good. Three two nine six. Yeah, 3296 is the next. Mm. 3300 is the next one. Yeah, 3298. So just 20 pips apart. There are three levels. There are minor 15-minute support resistance levels, 20 pips apart. Right. So if you get entries and price goes in drawdown, that's how you manage risk. Your hard stop loss should be under this candle. That's if it pulls back and you get entries. It might not. It might not. We've already created a bottom wick. We've broken this high. We could just be pushing straight through to 33220. That is about 115 pips away, and then to 3325, which is about 160 pips away. Right. So might not get entry. There might not be entry. Um, yeah. If there isn't, that's okay. It's a shame, but it's okay, right? Doesn't always. If you're waiting for the pullback, you don't always get entry. You can see the setup, but you don't always get entry, and that's okay. But I'd always rather have that than chasing price. Um, and there's nothing wrong by being a breakout trader. There's absolutely nothing wrong. There's a lot of successful traders who are breakout traders. That's a fantastic way to trade. It's just not my style. It doesn't fit with the way I trade. I would rather have a pullback to have a lower risk and a higher reward trade. Right. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. Price is still inside this liquidity candle. Right? We've broken it once. We should be pushing through. Um, just waiting for volume, basically. We're just waiting for volume to push through and get to 3320. That's where we're heading. I'll put I'll put a TP level. If you are taking that trade, that's where you want to take partial positions. Yeah, if you are in the buys, here's where you want to take partial positions, 3320, and then 3325. That's already marked. 3320, 3325. It doesn't seem like price is going to pull back. Pullback happened in pre-NY. This was the candle that pulled back, tapped this area, and then pushed up. It's not going to happen again. That was the liquidity grab. Price pulled back, created support, tradable 30-minute bull candle close, and pushed up all, and it's now pushing up. And we're heading to the London high. If you get a close above, 15-minute close above, at or above the London high, even here, 15-minute close above here, you can see that these 15-minute candles all stayed below. Sorry, these 30-minute candles all stayed below. So if you get a 30-minute candle close above 3311, 3311, if you get a 30-minute candle close at 3311 or above 3311, then we're pushing all the way up here, another 100 pips, and then further up here. As I said, we did this analysis at the beginning of the session. This could be the pullback for a continuation down tomorrow, right? We're going to try to predict. It's tough to predict the weekly candle close on NFP day, on NFP Friday. It's tough because it's NFP. Price can go in either direction. It's very tough to do it on the NFP Friday, right? I think we kind of successfully have done it in the past on NFP Fridays as well. But the other Fridays, I think we've got it right always, the weekly candle close. But on an NFP Friday, it is tough because there can be volume can come in and price can just go in either direction, right? Depends on where it grabs liquidity. It can go in either direction. So, but we're going to try tomorrow. We're going to try to do the weekly candle close to see. So basically, it's how the weekly candle is going to close and where it's going to close. And based off that prediction, we are going to look at the daily time frame and see for the weekly candle to close according to that prediction, how should the daily candle close? And depending on the daily candle close, we're going to look for a lower time frame trade on the 30-minute time frame so that uh, it goes in the direction of the daily candle so that the weekly candle closes in a certain way. We're still struggling here, but a breakout is going to happen. We're going to have a push up. All right, I'm going to be here for maybe another 4 minutes more, 5 minutes more. I'm going to end the stream. Um, I'm looking for buys from here for price to push up. And then if we go up here, if we get past this, right? Let's see where price could be heading. Yeah, if we get past, one second. If we come up here again to this area, this liquidity candle here, or above to this liquidity candle, and we form 30-minute resistance and tradable 30-minute back candle close, and we can look to, I will look to take sells either from up here deeper further up towards the weekly SR level, uh, or even further up. Look to take sells to come down. Yeah, should pass this. We spoke about this in yesterday's stream. We spoke about this level right here, just above 3332, triple three three. There is liquidity above it, just above triple three, just above triple three three, right? Just above that level, right there, just above it. Above it is liquidity. Above this is liquidity. So if for sells, I would like to see sells from above this level to come down, not ideally from here. Might get a pullback here, but ideally sells from above here for price to push down, right? That's what I would look for, above 333.5, right? Above that. I'm going to keep that on the chart. We'll come back tomorrow and see what happens. I'll end the stream in a couple of minutes, but I've placed entries for buys. These are areas to manage risk if price goes deeper. Final stop loss should be under 32.94 for the buys, for price to head up to 33.20 and then 33.25 and even further up to 33.32, right? That's where price should be heading, but I would like to see a pullback before we get there. If it doesn't happen, then it's a breakout, then there's nothing to do. But if price breaks, taps the London high and then pulls back, yeah, then I'll look to take a trade. If you pull back, create 30-minute support, I'll look to take the trade to go up again, right? The whole idea is the direction is up. We're pushing up. If you look at let's look at the weekly is bearish, but if you look at the daily time frame, we're pushing up. The 4 hour is pushing up, the 1 hour is pushing up, right? So for the shorter term trend, the short term trend is up, right? Though the weekly is bearish, and the daily is, yeah, it was bearish yesterday, but now we're pushing up. So you can say the daily is still bearish. The daily is still bearish, but the 4 is definitely bullish, and the 1 is definitely bullish, right? We're creating, and what I mean by that is, if you look at the weekly, we're creating lower highs, lower highs and lower lows. So we have a lower low here, a lower high here, and a lower low here. On the daily time frame, we have again same lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and possibly lower highs. So daily and weekly are pushing down. We're bearish, but on the 4 we start seeing there's a lower low here, then there's a high low here, right? And then a higher high here, a higher low, and possibly trying to create a higher high again to push, and then a high low to push further up. And so that's what I mean, that if you break above this high and then have a pullback to create a higher low, I might look to take that trade to go back up here, right? And same on the 1 hour, it's even clearer. You can see we created a lower low, and now we have a higher low, right? And higher highs, a higher low, higher high, And if you break this, then we create a high again and pull back a high low to go up, right? And if you break this high, then I'll look for that high low to push up, right? But 30-minute support, 30-minute support, and then the push up. Okay, so the 1 hour candle has closed inside this liquidity candle. All right, that's a good sign. We could be breaking this high. We could create a bottom wick first, then break this previous candle high, and then push up to the London high. All right. Okay, so tomorrow is NFP. Be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see if we'll probably do a longer stream. But right now, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. NY Open, it's been an hour. Nothing's happened. We've just this is the last two 30-minute candles since the NY Open. 34 pip candle, 73 pip candle, but that's a doji. It's going in no direction. There's no clear direction. All right. But if you got in pre-NY based off this, amazing. Then you are in profit, and you could be holding it all the way up here. Right. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30. 1 second. What's this? Okay. Right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST, and we'll look to see if we have a setup for NFP. We'll do the analysis and look to see if we have a setup for NFP. All right. Take care, guys. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. See you tomorrow.